wanted to start with asking you kind of how you were introduced to things pertaining to Lord of the Rings, or Lord of the Rings itself, or
Mm-hmm.
so how did you get introduced? That's the question. First
Um,
question.
Geez,
Go.
young as heck.
Well, that's pretty young.
Yeah. Geez, I don't know. I'm thinking 9 or 10, somewhere in that area, when I came across my older brother, in the shed. I think we were playing something, probably with the basketball hoop, but he had his book he was reading, and it's like, oh, that's cool. I thought the cover was cool, and I remember it was the Two Towers paperback, and it just had an elf on it or something, and my brother was like, yeah, this is the Lord of the Rings. It's the greatest story ever. And I'm like, okay. But probably a couple years go by. I don't read the books, but I know my brother has them.
Mm-hmm.
And for Christmas, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was either his birthday or Christmas one year. My brother's birthday or Christmas, he got the VHS cassettes of the Lord of the Rings animated.
Reanimated, like from the
Yeah.
70s? Was that the 70s?
Yeah. And that was actually the first time I, was officially introduced to Lord of the Rings, where, I started getting to know the characters and what the plot was about. And I remember just the movies were just great because they reminded me of what I'd do in school, like that. A lot of the battle scenes I remember where it looked like someone just sketching on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I remember doing that kind of thing in school where I'd reenact battles, and I was like, oh, it's cool. Someone made a movie using what I do on a piece of paper. It was so cheaply done. But turns out the animator for that movie, for the movies, no, I think it was only. Oh, it was. Maybe it was the Lord of the Rings movies, but not the Hobbit.
Right. The Hobbit.
I think they had a different animator.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
But that animator was like a controversial figure.
Because the Hobbit. Sorry, excuse me. The Lord of the Rings was that the Ralph? What was his name? It starts with a B. But then I think the Hobbit was Rankin Bass Productions or whatever.
Okay.
And yeah, that was.
It was two different
people,
because you could totally tell too where.
The Lord of the Rings ones, they were. I don't think I've seen them all the way through, but like, it's weird because it's like almost like it's like.
They had the
real, but it's like
real, but it was so good. Yeah. It was so well done. It was, I like the kind of the darkness to the Lord of the Rings movies compared to the Hobbit one. The Hobbit one has its own little great things about it, but yeah, the dark sinisterness of the
Ralph Bakshi.
That's the Lord of the Rings one?
Yeah, 1978.
Okay. And then the Hobbit guy.
The Hobbit was, I think, Rankin Bass. Because I think Rankin and Bass did they do like Christmas movies too? Like.
Oh yeah, they could have done the.
Yeah, the Hobbit was Rankin Bass.
Like the claymation Christmas.
I think yeah. Let me just.
I
look
could
it
see
up
that.
Fact checking, real time fact checking, right?
Yeah.
Because this is important.
Well, it is. I'm sure everyone listening would want to know.
Yeah, like Santa Claus is coming to town,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that.
That's
The
funny. I was just
classic ones, Jack Frost,
Jack Frost.
some Frosties, the Little Drummer Boy, Rudolph.
We were just talking earlier at lunch about what was that old? Not it wasn't Rudolph, but it was about the guy in the town. I don't know if he was the mayor, but maybe the governor or something. He didn't like toys.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
That's it. Yeah, I was
Burgermeister.
That was his name. I was trying to think of it. Yeah, okay. So the conversation. I know we're getting off topic. I'm sorry, but I gotta say
We can come back to that.
Yeah, we'll have to. So you know that toy with the string attached to a duck with wheels?
Okay.
It was like a very common like old
Yeah,
toy.
sure.
So that was the Dutch creator. Oh, I mean the Lego creator's first toy.
Really?
That was their first attempt of a toy.
Interesting.
It was that duck
Like-
on wheels.
What could we do for a toy? Let's take a duck.
Put a wheel.
And put wheels on it.
And then a string.
Like, imagine how cool that would be.
It sold great. It was.
That's so simple.
Yeah.
We should come up
Man.
with something like that.
Yeah. And yeah. That's that. So, yeah, great animators, great movies. I remember, yeah, just loving those movies. And then, of course, maybe a year or two later, the first Peter Jackson movie came out, and then it was just that was it.
So you had you seen the Hobbit, animated Hobbit from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of got like introduced to it in, I guess, in the way that it like naturally. You followed the timeline,
Mm-hmm.
but you did it in like a compressed kind of
yeah,
timeline
yeah.
because you weren't alive for
Because
those.
that movie, yeah, was out in the '80s sometime. So.
Yeah, that was my experience was a little different, I think, because like I said, I haven't seen the animated Lord of the Rings all the way through. I saw the Hobbit before. I think it was before the Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Sorry, my throat is.
At least you got that.
Yeah, the Hobbit was. I think that was before. It's hard to remember, but I remember the Hobbit. Seeing that renting that movie from the library, the public library, and I also rented the what was it? Mind's Eye Theater radio drama production of The Hobbit, and for many years after that, I couldn't figure out what I had what it was, because I was trying to look it up, because what I did with that is like I don't know if I had read The Hobbit at the time, but I would listen to that, like I would put that on a little boombox, and I think it must have been tapes, or maybe it was CDs. I can't remember.
Probably tapes.
But and then I would lay down like on my floor in my room, and basically fall into almost to sleep. So it was like you could really be transported.
Yeah.
Like into the story. It was really kind of cool.
It was an audio book, but it was like.
It was a
play.
Yeah, it was like a theater, like a radio drama is what they call it. It's
so there'd be like sound effects and
music.
music.
And it's not like word for word from the book, but it's pretty close, and it's they do different voices. They have different characters for the. It's
how cool would that be?
It's pretty cool. I have it. Like I have.
You still have it?
I have.
Or,
I found. I figured out what it was not too many years ago. Like, 'cause that was before other people had the internet, but I don't think we had the internet. And I kind of just like forgot about it, and then I was like trying to figure out like what was that, and I just like kind of
how'd you find
searched online and
okay.
Found it, listened to different things, because there's a couple different, there's like a BBC one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found the Mind's Eye one, and I was like, this is it. Like, I remember those voices. I remember everything. Like,
did you listen to it all the way through?
after finding
the beginning?
I have CDs, and we've listened to it in the car like when we've
Road trip.
gone up north and stuff. But
That's cool.
so I did that. Like,
Is it just The Hobbit, or is it the whole Lord of the Rings?
it's just The Hobbit. I don't
Okay.
think they did. I don't know if they did any, like, if they did any more.
Yeah,
than
that would be a
but,
long theater session.
But man, is it good? But then the Lord of the Rings, obviously, like, through I think it was in like 7th grade when I started reading those,
Okay.
and I think I read them once through.
Yeah.
But then I think that was about the same time the movies came out. I don't remember exactly. We would have to do math, and
Yeah. It's
I don't know if my mind's there right now.
hard to think that far back.
And I don't know if it was the movies that caused me to, like, read them or what it was exactly. But yeah, I was kind of introduced, like, I kind of had a disposition for that kind of entertainment.
Yeah, like
but I guess it was like
the-
my upbringing, like with my dad being
with
into the
all the
armor and
medieval
yeah.
kind of things. Yeah, they do come hand in hand. Yeah, definitely with me too. It's always been interested in the fantasy kind of swords and dragons and all that, even before the Lord of the Rings.
Nerd.
Yeah, nerd alert. But it was like, I think Lord of the Rings really did a good job at just creating a foundation of fans of that kind of genre. It was there before, of course, with Dungeons and Dragons, and
Well,
I'm trying to think of like older.
Lord of the Rings. Are you talking about Lord of the Rings, the movies? Like,
No,
or,
like the books and
'cause
all that.
the
because
books were
there's-
before Dungeons
Yeah.
and Dragons.
Yeah,
I think Lord
but
of the
once the movies came out, and all, like, you know how
yeah.
like that's how pretty much how we came to enjoy it more, or
Yeah.
became more interested in it. I think that like helped a lot of people, like, oh, this stuff is really cool. And yes, the books were out forever before all that, but it seems like people really didn't start becoming interested in Lord of the Rings as much until the main movies, like Peter Jackson's movies,
Right.
came out, and then it just blew up. It's like,
Yeah, you have like okay, the Lord of the Rings books come, or the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, those books come out or whatever.
mm-hmm.
I don't think they're like super nerdy, but I think like you said, people knew about them.
Yeah, but it was
they
like
weren't
a niche thing.
Yeah, and the people that were like really into them were the Dungeons and Dragons,
Mhm.
like, and that's like super nerdy kind of.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, but then yeah, nowadays you have like more of a, or since the Peter Jackson movies, you have more of like casual,
Yep.
like,
Yeah,
you know, oh, I like Lord of the Rings and I'm not a nerd. Like,
Yeah, it's not such a niche
yeah.
thing. It's kind of like cool now to like, oh wow, you like,
Some people
nerdy
don't think it's
stuff.
cool, but
yeah,
they're wrong.
yeah, right. You prove it to them.
How do you prove it to them? Yeah.
Just bring them to the Renaissance. No one can, like,
Renaissance.
no one can be frowning when they're at the Renaissance. Like, oh, this sucks.
That's true. I mean, but it does get kind of weird sometimes.
The Renaissance isn't the same.
It's not. There's less.
Less,
There's more LARPing and less actual, like, because people kind of look at the Renaissance like LARPing, but like if you're actually dressing in like legit armor, I don't consider that like LARPing really.
Right.
I mean,
You're-
but it's more
you're-
like the LARPing where you have like padded swords and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of
And you know.
I know what you mean. That and just I feel like I miss going there and having it not family friendly.
Yes.
Now it's just so G-rated. It kind of makes me sick.
I mean,
I understand why, but I miss the old Renaissance, dude. I miss walking past the stand and being insulted, and then actually believing it's a real insult, and then realizing, oh, he gets paid to insult people, and that's hilarious.
so you miss throwing potatoes at people.
I miss throwing potatoes at people. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely less of the legit dress. I guess dress up is what people refer to it as, but that's what I noticed when I was there last, and I didn't wear my armor. I was like, I should have worn my armor.
Yeah. Well,
for other people, like, it's for other people that you wear stuff like that.
Now it's so far and few. When you do come up with armor, people assume you work there.
Well, they used to think that about when we would go too. Like, do you work there? Do you do the jousting?
Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
You'll see me at 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings. So if you could pick one, since you've been playing some games, and you know the map a little, you know the world, I guess.
Yeah.
Middle Earth, at least just Middle Earth.
Back of my
Pretty
hand.
good, because there's more than just Middle Earth. But if you could pick one place that and it was real and you could visit it, just one place out of like Middle Earth, where would you like to go visit?
Oh, geez. Okay. That's an easy one, actually. I would like to visit the Glimmering Caves. Probably.
Explain what the Glimmering Caves are.
Not
for me, because I definitely
right,
know.
So,
I think I know, but...
Helm's Deep.
Yep. Okay.
I'm forgetting the correct name for Helm's Deep, but I'm going to call it Helm's Deep.
I think it says Helm's Deep on the map, so we can go by that.
Helm's Deep on okay. So Helm's Deep, they got this cave system in the back that's, well, in the movies. It's mainly used in the books, or as Tolkien referenced it, as more of a storage area where they'd keep supply. But in the books, they would, during the attack of Helm's Deep, they used it to evacuate the stronghold. Innocent civilians like women, children, all fled to the Glimmering Caves, and that's where Gimli and Legolas, Legolas didn't, because Gimli was talking to Legolas, but Gimli somehow was able to check these caves out, and to Gimli's perspective, or from his point of view, these were the shiniest, most beautiful, magnificent, just jewel-covered caves he's ever come across, which is saying something because he's a dwarf. I'm sure he's come across a lot of beautiful, stonery, and just the fact that he was begging Legolas to go visit these caves after the whole ordeal has passed tells me that it's probably something very awe-inspiring to see. So I would like to see what Gimli saw.
Okay, that's a good answer. What they're jewel covered? Or they're just
I'm pretty well
shiny, because if they're full of jewels, why wouldn't they be harvesting?
Yeah, I think.
Or maybe they were. I don't know.
See, I feel like I came across someone like an indie geek thing about this. There is a reason.
There's a reason.
There is a reason. I just don't know.
Okay.
We gotta figure that out one day. It might just be because it's sacred or something, or maybe men aren't interested in the jewels of dwarfs.
Yeah, maybe they weren't like back because it's supposed to,
Because
it's a different
I think
time.
it was Mithril that he saw. I think
Ah.
that's what he was kind of inciting or insinuating. That it was Mithril, but
Which
I'm
the
not.
men wouldn't be. They probably don't know how to
Men,
work that.
yeah, men probably don't even know what Mithril are. Idiots.
Idiots.
So, but if I were to choose another place, I kind of like the Shire. I just want to see the green fields and something turn off.
Oh, that was a noise. Maybe the computer. I don't know.
Yeah, the Shire just sounds beautiful and nice, luscious green area.
Yeah, that would be one of my choices as well. It would be like, I always get kind of stuck between like the Shire and then like Moria or something like that, because
Moria would be cool, yeah.
it's like Moria would be fun to explore,
That's just like an architectural wonder.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
But like if I had to go there and just like spend time, it's just Shire, obviously. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I could
just
vacation in the Shire.
Yeah.
Sign me up. Mordor would be cool just to see, like, just how crappy. how low can a place go? I guess, since there's not much mention of Harad and
Oh yeah.
and all those south and eastern areas, it would be kind of cool to just check that out. I'm sure it's just desert and nothing spectacular, but it'd still be cool.
They're probably weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, I know there's oil there.
Too soon. No. Yeah. They would claim that, but they don't have weapons of mass destruction. That's how it goes.
Not anymore.
Huh. Does every mountain range have a dwarven? I mean, I guess
Yes.
Except for maybe around
Gondorian and.
Like a dwarven society, or what's the word I'm looking for? Probably not the mountains around Mordor. Did the dwarves eventually go over there after Sauron was defeated?
I know they go here. Because I have this another game that I get my knowledge from, but they stay very close to the lore as much as possible, except the trolls. It's called medieval Total War, Lord of the Rings, the Third Age, and
it's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is, but it's super awesome. But I notice every time in the campaign, the dwarves, they start in that area, the Lonely Mountain area, but they always go south to
the Sea of Rune.
Yeah, I always like to say Rohan.
Rohan.
But
that's too close to Rohan.
It is, isn't it?
And then people will get confused. I don't know how to pronounce.
But yeah, Rune.
Words.
Yeah, they always go here and take that stronghold where those mountains are. I don't know if that's accurate, but they do have mines there. So I would figure that since they're so kind of close-ish to the Lonely Mountain area, I'm sure the dwarves would have been like, yeah, we're gonna mine some. So I believe every kind of mountainish area would have stuff that dwarves would seek, minerals and stuff. But yeah, I wish there was more lore when it came to Ruin and Harad. Just all you know is Easterlings and Southerings.
It's really kind of greedy of us to to think like that though, because like of everything that Tolkien gave us. Like,
you just couldn't give us
it's not
this.
enough.
Yeah, I know.
I want more.
You know what? I was listening to, I think, the Indie Geek, and he was talking about how Tolkien was thinking, or he was writing a sequel to The Lord of the Rings. But he stopped, which was great. It's like so great when writers are self-aware of what they're doing. And he was like, I can't do this because there's no more Sauron.
Mm-hmm.
There's no dragons. There's no evil left in the world. So like men would be fighting men, and he was like, that would just become like this like dark thriller that wouldn't be Lord of the Rings. It would totally like, and I love that. Like he was like, no, that wouldn't be Lord of the Rings, so I'm just gonna stop writing it. And he didn't want a book that it was just another freaking book of men attacking men, and just, you know, he said there was nothing there. Like Lord of the Rings ended it. It's like the evil's gone, and that's it. He couldn't taint the name of the Lord of the Rings with anything, because it just wouldn't be Lord of the Rings without there being like a ultimate evil to fight against, you know.
Well, it's
something to fight for.
The Lord of the Rings is like, the title is
yeah,
like the essence of the story is like in the title. I mean,
he would have to create just a whole different new series. He wouldn't be able to go off of the Lord of the Rings anymore, because that story's finished.
You don't have any lessons that you can without some great evil that they have to like overcome.
Yeah, exactly.
All that, yeah.
That thing that Sam talked about, like how all that's good in the world will be like corrupted or something. It could never happen again. All the good in the world is going to be good forever now. I would be interesting though to see what the heck happened to Saruman. Like the Saruman stories.
Didn't he go back to the Shire and like they were like taking over the Shire, and then but then he didn't get killed though, did he?
No.
He fled or something.
Yeah, the last part in the Lord of the Rings, he was just trying to get some leaf from one of the hobbits. That was like his last passage in the book. He's a bum now.
I mean,
it'd be cool to figure out like where Saruman went, because he was still with Wormtongue, traveling with him.
Yeah, but then Wormtongue dies.
It'd be a cool
right?
like short story.
Doesn't Wormtongue die in the books in the Shire as like, because in the movie it's totally different.
Yeah, and I later on figured out why Peter Jackson did that.
Why?
It's just because it's a movie. To leave Saruman alive would have left the people that are watching Lord of the Rings as just a casual watcher. It would leave too much for them to fill. You know, Saruman's like too many questions like, oh, what happened to that really evil dude Saruman? Just kill him off, because you don't have enough time in those 3 movies to actually explain like what happens to Saruman. And that's what people want in movies too. They want the bad guy to die. So I understand why Peter Jackson did it. He's like, well, it's in the book, he pretty much died. He as a character, because you don't hear of Saruman after the attack of Isengard. Like he pretty much becomes irrelevant after that. So that's why Peter Jackson did it. It's because, well, just kill him then. You know, that's what the people want, and I don't know. It is a big thing to add to a movie that didn't happen in the book, to have one of the main bad protagonists die when in the book they didn't die. That's kind of weird, but I understand. I can humor him, humor the reason why you did it. Like I can understand.
But
I know.
yeah,
It's
no,
weird. It's weird.
It is, but they also did that kind of with the orcs and stuff. 'Cause like I think, am I right in thinking that Tolkien didn't necessarily think that orcs were like beyond redemption?
Yeah, I think that was yeah.
And there were orcs left over
Yeah.
after Sauron was defeated, and it's like,
Those orcs, yeah, there was something about that where, yeah, orcs did in the movie, or in the book, a lot of them did fall when the eye, or the ring was destroyed. But I do remember that, like, not all of the orcs fell because of reasons of morality or something like that. Like, I'm sure it has something to do with his religious implications, or how he likes to kind of throw a little bit like a zest of kind of religious aspects in there.
well, I would say there's more than just a little bit, but
yeah, I'm just not
yeah,
familiar with a lot of them. I'm sure.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the fact that Sauron is a shapeshifter probably relates to Satan being kind of like disguised as a not a bad person. Sure, there's some relation. Maybe the S too, with the Sauron, Satan. 2 syllables start with S. Is 7 ever mentioned repeatedly in Lord of the Rings?
7?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I feel like I knew
It's-
more about this.
yeah.
And
I feel like there was a 7, like number 7 is
but
repeated in the books a few
there's
times, like 7.
there's deep kind of themes like in Lord of the Rings that are very Christian themes that.
Well, Lambus, I guess.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's that.
That's the only one I can think of on the top of my head.
But just the idea that, like, spoiler alert, evil destroys itself.
Oh yeah.
Because that's essentially what happens. Is evil destroyed itself. It's not just that, but in the end it was, like, because Frodo still had to do a lot to get to that point where evil destroyed itself, but in the end it was the kind of the ring that destroyed itself. And,
right. And I finally,
I don't.
talking about.
Sorry, I don't know if that's strictly a Christian theme or if that's just reality. Like,
Well, no, you could say it could be strictly because Christianity's been here since forever. So you could say that
forever.
for as long as I don't know.
I
But
don't know
like you could
forever.
say it had like maybe it was like the first kind of mainstream thought process towards that kind of thinking, being like, yeah, evil destroys itself. Do they talk about how like evil can't create in the Bible too, or in religion?
I haven't read the whole Bible yet.
Okay.
I'm still working on that. In the process.
I'm sure there's something like that. But you were talking about Frodo and destroying, how he didn't really like destroy the ring himself, but the ring kind of destroyed itself. And I always wondered, like, how Frodo kind of seemed lost after he destroyed the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always thought to myself, like, what is up with that, dude? He just like saved the world, and he's like acting all like, ooh. And it finally occurred to me, like, oh, it's because he's ashamed of himself. Because he wasn't going to destroy the ring.
Yeah,
It
I
makes
guess.
sense. Like, he was ashamed, like, he didn't have the will to do it. And the only reason why the world is saved is because of pretty much fate. It wasn't him. Like, yeah, he did carry it the whole way. But in the end, he was not going to destroy it. And he like everyone's praising him and saying, "Oh, you saved the world," but deep down inside, he's like, "You guys don't know. You guys don't understand. That wasn't me." So
Yeah, that's
it's
interesting.
crazy.
I don't think I've ever really thought about that.
Yeah, because it always bothered me how Frodo, in the end, he was never like really like he was happy to see his friends. In the end, when they came to see him in the bed, and like you could see like oh, but I just never understood like why he was kind of like oh, he wasn't Frodo. Like he wasn't. It didn't seem like he was happy towards the end of the story, and yeah, I guess that's why he went to the land of the immortal. What is that called?
Undying Lands?
Yeah, is because he was pretty much like since he had the ring, he was pretty much dead. Is that like what was the reason for him going there? Because the ring took so much of his like life away, right?
I don't
Because
know exactly. I haven't
I,
really
I
read
feel
into
like
that.
that is the reason. That's why Bilbo went, is because it did drain his life force essentially away. Um, yeah, yeah, he was a lot older, but he like you mentioned, being butter being spread up, too much bread being too much
Butter being spread over too
too
much
much
bread.
bread. Yeah,
Or
yeah.
something like that.
It's
Yeah.
just like the ring, like it does give you longer life, but also at the cost of like what life. It's it withers you. Um, so I think maybe that's why Frodo went over to the. Why do I want to call it the Grey Havens?
Because that's where they leave from. They go to the Grey Havens and then they sail to the Undying
Oh,
Lands.
okay.
So he does go to the Grey
Oh,
Havens
okay.
and then.
Okay.
That's,
So
so do you have to be good though? Because like would Gollum have?
yeah,
I mean, or
see what?
Smeagol,
Yeah,
if he would have not, you know. But I guess it's kind of
it's
a.
because he murdered though. That's why. Yeah, so I think you do have to
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah.
Because yeah, if you do like an act of evil, I think that's when that ring actually does take you and turn you into evil, like a Gollum. And he didn't even wear the ring to like. That's the craziness.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be some. You ever feel like there's no rhyme or reason to some of the rules in Lord of the Rings?
Like what?
Like that, like how, like for some people, the ring can just, without even like come in contact with it, like Schmeagol didn't even touch the ring yet, and it took him over. You know, it's like why did it affect him so different? But here's Frodo who's actually wearing the ring, and it doesn't like give him like these evil
They're
desires.
weaker
Yeah,
in
maybe.
spirit or something. I don't.
Yeah, maybe it just takes over weak-willed people. Weak-willed people.
You see it with Boromir and how
Yeah.
he kind of is like the weak one of the group that wants it. Everybody else is kind of just like,
Yeah, that's.
But some people are more easily corrupted, and I think that's true in real life.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. Very true.
But
I feel like it could happen to anyone. Like it's one of those things like you don't know until you got it, kind of thing. Where, well, no, it can't happen to anyone because it doesn't happen to anyone and everyone.
I think
I don't want to get off too far off.
it's more they're more they might be more susceptible to it if when they don't realize how evil it is, or they're not afraid of being corrupted. Like Boromir, he wasn't really concerned about being corrupted by the ring. He just wanted the ring.
Yeah.
And like
You wanted to
where
prove it.
where Aragorn is like, I don't want to fall into that same,
Mm-hmm.
trap as my, I don't know how many greats that was or what that relation.
For what?
Isildur, how far down the line he was. But
I don't know either.
yeah, I don't want to fall into that same, same trap. And it's, if you're aware of the potential of you being corrupted, then you're less likely to be corrupted, I think. So I think that might be what that kind of points to.
Yeah, that definitely could be. Yeah, there's things he could back that up with, like being aware of, like the effect of alcohol. If you're drinking, if you weren't so aware of, like, oh, if I keep drinking this, I might do something stupid. The person that's more aware of it is less inclined to do something stupid or get corrupted by evil. So.
You saying alcohol's evil?
No.
Yeah.
But I'm
Could be
saying
argued.
it could, you can see the comparison.
Yeah, it's kind of
All about knowledge and being aware.
Being woke.
Being woke. When did that start? Jeez, the word woke. I feel like that seriously came up 2015. Ugh,
Yeah.
disgusting. I like looking at this map though.
It's a good map. Gotta get what's the other?
There's more to it.
Yeah, there's more to it. And this is Middle Earth. This
Yeah.
isn't like
This isn't the whole world, huh?
the whole world.
Okay, so that's all. That's always confused me. Is why we're only seeing half of it.
Well, there's also more, not just over here, because it's like I think it's connected. But there's more like up north, and there's I was too far away from the mic there. Yeah, there's more up there that's kind of like, I thought there was like elves that came over and basically crossed an ice bridge or something, and a bunch of them died or something.
From Forachel?
I don't know.
What is that? Forachel. What? I can't never say that place way up north.
Yeah. I don't know.
I know there's the island above it. Something about there.
It's really
Something
good that he did make maps though.
Mm-hmm. He was good at it. Really good. Except, did they explain this at all? Like why Mordor is surrounded by a mountainous wall, pretty much, essentially. Like a palisade of mountains.
Like how that happened naturally?
Yeah, was that natural? Or?
I don't know. I honestly, I guess I don't know.
It's awfully convenient for the Dark Lord to have a wall of mountains around his base.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, it's good that he did that because it helps people understand the story better.
Yeah.
Like they can follow along and
like, oh yeah, one doesn't simply walk into Mordor. We can see that. Yeah.
Be cool to like get a large piece of land and set it up. Not like I guess you wouldn't be able to recreate the whole map because it's like a very large piece of land, but have a large piece of land and just have like like the Renaissance Festival, but all year, people live there. People would do that, but I feel like you'd get all the crazy people doing that.
You would. You know like, that.
How do you vet the people?
There's no possible way. I've thought about stuff like that, because when I was younger, I went to Orlando Studios, and there's this tavern. It was actually called a tavern, but it was a restaurant. But it was all like medieval looking, and I was like, man, it's like cool. And I would like to. I thought of like, what if you could just buy a plot of land and make your own country, and then be like have rules where only like 17th century technology allowed.
Yeah.
Back to this, kind of have an Amish take at it, and it'd be fun. And people would die a lot from disease because you'd be like, we don't have hospitals. Hello. Your hospitals.
Maybe they wouldn't die as
the
much
butcher.
as you think, though.
Yeah, probably not.
Because they'd be healthier, because they'd be living
We'd
off
have
the
hand
land.
soap.
You allow hand soap?
Who would allow hand soap?
What about toilet paper, too? Because you don't know.
Oh, no, that's...
No?
Unless someone's willing to make it themselves, straight from the tree. That would be neat. Tree bark.
Yeah.
What would you consider, you asked me where I'd like to visit, what would you consider one of the greatest, or if you have a couple in mind, architectural wonders in Middle Earth?
Well, maybe Moria would be...
Okay, yes.
That, I would think that would be
That would
one.
count as one, for sure.
There's a lot of crazy things. Minas Tirith is crazy in itself. Like,
Yeah.
that would be, it's
Was
not...
that carved out of the mountain? Or
I
did they
really
just build
don't-
it? Yeah.
Don't know.
I want to figure that out, because...
It was like, in the movie, did they make it seem, like...
It does look
like
kind of like it could have been, like some of it,
Yeah.
some of the city could have been carved out of the mountain.
I don't know much for, Just trying to think of... I like all the different, like, lost kind of to time and war kind of thing. Like, Weathertop is one, like, it's like, those are kind of cool, because it's like, I don't know, I like those things. I like ruins.
There's a lot of ruins by the in the western area, because of that Anori, or what do you call it, the Ananorian
I don't know, you're using words that I don't know.
the land that sunk
Oh, Numenor.
Numenor, thank you. I don't know what I was trying to say. But where that coast, that would be looking across to Numenor. There's a lot of ancient old structures on that coast of the Numenor.
Oh, yeah.
So, which I do believe it is that top area. If it is this, that would make sense too. I know there's your map.
My map is wrong?
I feel like there should be islands in this.
Like right where you pointed, there's some islands.
Well,
Right here?
I feel like all across here.
Oh, there's probably
There
stuff that's
should
not
be,
on the
but
map. I mean,
maybe it's.
how many drafts of the map too? Like, did he? I mean, there's probably different versions out there. I would
Yeah.
think.
I would like to come across some of his first writings. I wonder if that that first line that he wrote in the trench. Was he writing in the trench? When he was writing the first line of there was a hobbit that lived in a hole. Maybe he wasn't in a trench when he wrote that, but I wonder if that paper that he wrote on is like still. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, I wonder if someone has that. Like, if his son has that, like in glass, like his first.
That would be crazy. I feel like that would be worth a lot of money, but
just forge it.
yeah.
Yeah, this is his first line.
Found this.
Just found it.
Yeah.
looking
Just
through.
over in England, and I found this. Some guy in a coat gave it to me.
I think the Black Gate is a real cool, really awesome achievement. Just the magnificent, like it's huge.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like pure steel, iron.
Yeah, that would be hard to build.
Right. I don't even know how you would build that, or even how trolls can open it. Like, I still feel like a big iron gate like that, you're not no big old trolls.
It's gotta have rollers on the bottom or something. It's gotta be like have bearings in it. Maybe they
bearings.
do have bearing. Like, let's see why not.
That's what we need to figure out, the engineering behind the Black Gate, how that worked.
Maybe it's really thin metal.
Yeah, it's hollow on the inside.
It's like Sauron's just sitting back there. I hope they don't call my bluff. I hope they don't
Yeah,
call my
right.
bluff.
Maybe, dude.
They ride up to it and it's like, don't touch it. Please don't touch it. Please.
It's like, dong. It's not even metal. It's
It's like
tissue paper.
paper mache.
The trolls are like, all right, look like this. You're struggling a lot when you're over this.
Yeah, the orcs that are like whipping them are like, more struggling.
More struggling.
Not like, try harder. It's more struggling. The trolls have to go to like acting school before
Yeah.
they get that job.
They gotta act in the dark. That's my good reason for Mordor always being dark is your trolls don't have to be a nocturnal then. There's an advantage, on-field advantage for the Mordor team.
Wait, what?
We get you know trolls. I don't know
Yeah.
if all troll species can't.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're saying
in the
now.
daylight.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some trolls that Sauron created that can withstand daylight. I hope so. Maybe
You
not.
would hope so.
So that's just a huge disadvantage.
I mean, but it's not. Is it a disadvantage if you?
In the movies, didn't they have trolls in the daylight with the jump, pushing the big old fucking? Oh, sorry. There's one that slipped. I don't remember, but
That's fine.
pushing the. What do you call those towers that you pushed?
The siege
towers. Yeah. So yeah, he must have had
I
trolls.
don't know
Like
if they were in the daylight.
in the movie it was.
Well, yeah, in the movie, because you got to be able to see it.
This is where that guy on the computer would be nice. Hey, did Sauron have daylight trolls?
Where's
Please.
my handheld computer. It was probably we're probably going down a rabbit hole that like there's gonna be like both answers.
Yeah.
Like,
see, the thing
I feel like everything you
is he implied that
or in the books or in the movies, and then if you want to go by like
it was
what is canon and what is not.
kind of like when Amazon, there was a writer, or like he called himself a Tolkien professional or professor or whatever, and he's like, Tolkien actually didn't say Dwarven women had beards. He said the Dwarven women and Dwarven men were indistinguishable between each other, and
What does that imply?
Yeah.
That kind of means that
Yeah,
if they didn't have beards, you would be able to distinguish them.
Right. Like the beard is like their main
Technically, it's like fact check.
Yeah. Technically, he literally didn't say that. Like, yeah, okay, you're right, but
I've been fact checked on Facebook a couple times, kind of recently.
what? Like from the Facebook people?
well, it's like they use like independent fact checkers,
Oh yeah.
but and it's like you get a fact check, and it's like this has nothing to do with what I posted. Like this has nothing to do. It's like some other post that they're referring to that is like in a similar vein maybe, but it's not. So I'm like, I disagree with this decision, and it's like, or whatever, and because you can like
Yeah, dude, just
give
get off it,
feedback.
man.
No, I gotta spread the good word.
I know, but it's
Yeah, I know.
you'll never
I'd
win.
like to, but
That stuff's making me more upset. I came home a couple nights ago from work, had a really crappy day at work. I go onto my computer, and in the search bar where you'd normally search for your programs, there was a rainbow. And then I was like, well, there's a rainbow. Why is there a rainbow on the computer? I go highlight it, and it's all about Pride Month. And I'm like, I got that feeling on me, like, you know, when you're about to cry, like your chest like feels that, and then you get that sensation in your nose and your eyeballs. Like, I got that feeling just from that. It was like this feeling where now this computer isn't my computer, and they're also using it to push propaganda on me. I'm like, I felt so defeated. Like, coming home from a day of work, all I want to do is go on my computer and play my game. But then I gotta see this propaganda being pushed on me, and it's like, I don't know. It was such a defeating feeling, and yeah, I had like this feeling like I was like, oh, what am I, some kind of like pansy, like little, like wussy? Like, why am I like getting emotional over this like rainbow on my computer?
maybe you're gay.
Yeah, that's how I felt, dude. It's like, man, this ain't
No,
right,
you're not.
dude.
I mean, I'm not.
Like,
I'm not
this
trying to
is-
like
yeah,
imply. Like,
like,
I'm just. Maybe you're just like. Maybe you're a woman.
maybe I am a freaking wussy. But that's,
I didn't say women are wussies.
yeah, maybe I'm a woman. But you know what I mean? Like, what? How did this conversation?
The big problem that you had probably was
censorship.
mostly just like that you were.
I felt violated.
Yeah. It's,
Like, this is
like-
my computer.
Yeah.
You don't put this stuff on my computer. And there's no way to turn it off, tell them not to do it. I think we lost the culture battle, is what I'm saying. When they own everything, and then, like, I just want to go home and not see it. But then it's there. Oh, bothers me. Hang on, I'm going to grab a thingy. But yeah, I don't know. It really bothered me. But back to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. What I found on the internet is that both answers basically.
Yes, of course.
So like they're according to what I briefly read, there were trolls that could withstand sunlight as long as they were like under Sauron's will or something, but then they also had the dark cloud that went before everybody on, you know.
Okay, see, that makes
the
sense.
Battle of Minas Tirith, though. So
Because the trolls that wouldn't be under Sauron's will would be like the wild trolls, the mountain trolls, you know. So all the trolls that were in his army.
Well, there were.
That were depicted.
I don't know if those were the same trolls that could withstand sunlight, though.
Well.
Because there were the trolls that could withstand sunlight. I think might have been. They might have been. I don't know. I didn't research it too deeply. Somebody else will know.
Mm-hmm. But at least there's some kind of
explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what I need. Not gonna sleep at night.
Nice.
Trolls were the answer to Ents, or Ents were the answer to trolls. I forgot.
The other way around.
Which one? Chicken or the
the
egg?
other way. I think it was the other way around. Trolls were the answer to Ents, I think.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So I feel like
because
the good always comes first.
Right. Evil can only corrupt.
Yeah.
See that's parts we can.
Huh?
Like how there's a.
That is kind of a biblical theme, I guess, now that I think about it, because like everything starts out good and then, like.
Yeah, it gets tainted.
Yeah.
An outside force.
Yeah. But then eventually it gets reversed, and then good can take over evil and purify it in a way. So
what's the special maybe you know more about this. What's so special about Aragorn's bloodline? Like how does that work? What are they, the people of the Numenorian? Are they like children of Isildur? I can't say this.
No, Isildur. I think Isildur was.
How do you say that? Can you?
Isildur.
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 Yeah,
Isildur.
I'll try.
Cast it into the fire.
But are they all like?
They're descendants of the Numenorians. There were the black Numenorians were the ones that sided with Sauron. Like they were called black Numenorians, I think. I don't think they were actually, racially. I don't think it was a racial thing. I hope I'm getting that right.
Amazon will say it is.
Amazon.
Yeah. That will be the part they take from the book. Like, he literally says.
Oh yeah. Don't start talking about that. We don't want to talk about that. I don't.
No,
I'm never.
I'm not even
watching
gonna watch it.
Nope.
Nope.
I'm not gonna
try it.